Hi, everyone. It is December the 15th and a short video for you today. Although I do think what I'm going to have to share at the end of this is rather important. And I was hoping to have a really totally positive video today. I think it's going to end with that, but we have to get through some concerning things in the middle. First off, I just want to let you know that my book's finally arrived. So my Exit the Cave book finally showed up. It's nice to actually see it as a print version to look through it. And I'd like to ask some people who have bought the book, who bought the PDF. Some people have already gone over to Amazon and left some comments, reviews. I think that would be really helpful. If you think the book, well, whatever you think the book was, it's nice if you would go over, leave a review on Amazon. It helps others who could be interested in this material to see that other people have found the book useful. Just be honest in your review, of course. But reviews of those who found something valuable in it, that helps me to have other people be interested in the book. Secondly, I've got more interviews that are up. You can, of course, go down on the link below. There's 2 or 3 very good ones. There's a couple of more that have been done that aren't actually, as far as I know, up yet. So I'm just going to, every week, we just keep updating it with more and more interviews, and you can go there and check those out. Third thing, on next Friday, December the 23rd, I'm going to do a live show for all of you, a live question and answer session, which I think is a good thing to do in between the solstice and the Christmas period. It's a good time of year to not only look ahead, but I thought it's a good time to connect with all of you. Some of you maybe have a much smaller holiday period than maybe you used to have, and this can be an opportunity for some of us to just connect on that day. It's also festivus. So I figure it's also, given where I'm going to go at the end of this, I think festivus, oh, my cat wants to be in the video today. Wants to sit on my lap. That festivus is going to be on, of course, on the 23rd. So we can also have some airing of grievances, some feats of strength, and a few other things. So the 23rd, I think it'll be 9 p.m. my time. That's 3 p.m. East Coast time. Trying to find a time that is not too late for me, and yet people can fit in, hopefully. And I'll leave the link below, and or at least it'll be there on my live feed coming up. You can check into that. I'll have that done, I guess, tomorrow. And so the 23rd will be a live 1-hour conversation where you can ask what you feel like going into the new year. So, the new year. I'm going to leave a link below to a video. This is a real advertisement. It's important that you know it's a real advertisement. This is not like something coming from Saturday Night Live or something. This is real. For a new company called Ectolife. A number of you have probably already seen it. If you have, you don't need to watch it again. If you have not seen this, the new baby creation pods that are coming, you need to go watch it. So the link is below. I'm going to actually pause the video, pause this, go watch it first, and then come back. Okay, so hopefully you've now seen the video, and it's quite disturbing. It's Brave New World. It is the first chapter of Huxley's Brave New World put into reality. This is not far in the future now. This is we're in it. We are in Brave New World officially right now. And I know they are presenting this as if it is some sort of oh, it's for women who are having trouble with their pregnancies. It's for a couple of areas where it's difficult in the world. Their birth rates are falling. No. If you watch the video carefully, it is for the elimination of humans giving birth naturally, and for it all to be done through AI creation syndromes or AI creation systems. That's what it is. I have a woman that I know who's very close to giving birth now. I think she's a month or 2 away. And she might be one of the last generation of women who actually give birth on this planet. It's one of the creepiest things I've seen in a long time. And they're close. They're not. There's a lot of money been put into this this advertisement that's gone out for this company. They're not pumping out this amount of money, this amount of focus if they're not really close. I'm pretty sure they're doing test runs right now. They're getting everything kind of cleaned up, fitted up. And they said that they can create facilities of 30,000 babies at a time. 30,000 babies at a time. It links me back to a video I watched recently on somebody had sent it to me, and I'm sorry, I don't remember the channel. I'll try to find it if I can and put it in the link below. Which was postcards from the late 1800s called Cabbage Patch Babies. And it was showing these babies like they were being bred and born out of cabbages in these giant fields. It's really also weird and creepy. And there were tons of these bizarre postcards like over 100 years ago. And it almost seems like we're seeing a similar element. And again, whatever's going on in those late 1800s, we are seeing it's happening again right now. We're going through the same period. And yeah, it's Brave New World. You really should, because if you watch the video carefully, there's some things in there in that video to pay attention to. One is genetic control. So the parents are supposed to be able to control the entire genetic DNA structure of the child, right? Two, you're talking about you can you can implant probably, but you can put in certain sounds and certain music, which in Brave New World was conditioning, right? They managed to condition them. You could choose the intelligence level. So again, there's your perfect, we can create actual classes based on the intelligent level of the child, of the batch. I can say child, the batch, because they're coming out in batches of the batch that we want, so that we can have certain worker group, certain this kind of group, certain this group over here, and everything is osmosis in while they are a child. That's where we are. We're not going there. We're there. We are however many years away from this actually being our reality. And again, it explains a lot of what's going on. I'm just letting you know because, again, game time in this place is over. Game time in this place is over, and it's another example of where we are. And also a little thing that most people have missed in that video. There was a line in it that said, you can keep track of your child from the comfort of your zone, not from the comfort of your home. That's also a very important piece of information. They're already indicating in this video now that you will be living in wonderful zones, controlled of where you can go, when you can go. And of course, if your baby's in one of these factories, well, you're not going to be able to leave your zone to go see it, but you can communicate with the zone headquarters. Isn't that wonderful? Okay. How to end this with some sort of positive note. And I was thinking, because I've been going through a lot of prep work on the new book. One of the elements I haven't talked about for a long time is the importance of laughter, the importance of comedy. That, and I know some of you know I used to be a stand-up comedian, which most of you probably can't believe. You see this person sitting here and you can't do the math, right? It just doesn't compute. I was a different person then, obviously, 15, 20 years ago. I would sure the people who knew me 20 years ago would be stunned if they saw me sitting here doing these kind of videos now, because it's like two different personalities. But that mindset, which was always, that it helped me. It helped me to see the world in different ways, to respond to what's going on in my environment, looking for different levels, different answers, different avenues. Things you see go this way, but you're looking to go this way to turn it into a joke, into comedy. So it's good for the mind, but it's also good because it helps to, I can't remember what philosopher, Nietzsche maybe, who said that something to do with, and I can't remember the quote, someone will find it, but it's to do with only humans are the ones who laugh, because only humans have this much suffering, and so need to actually have created laughter in order to handle the suffering. And that's pretty true, that comedy and laughter are critical to overcoming the difficulty and suffering inherent in this reality. Another would be blues music and certain forms of sort of music that came out of the U.S. South, out of the out of the pain and suffering. There's certain types of music that are generated to as a as an energetic response to the suffering. But comedy and laughter is something very unique and very special that only humans seem to be able to do in this realm. And it's something I'm bringing up. I know even John Cleese and Jackie Gleason, they had both said comedy comes from conflict. If you don't have conflict or a problem, you can't create the comedy. It's not actually funny. So it's a response to conflict. It's a response to difficulty, or it's a response, particularly in a lot of really good television shows, it's a response to the egoic actions of a character. The more the character is responding from their egoic state, from their normal mental human state, you can generate comedy. If they're operating from a much more clear, kind perspective, there's really no comedy in that. Comedy and conflict go together. So as we're dealing with suffering, we have to start remembering to produce humor and laughter. We have to. And I'm actually thinking about how to bring some of that back more into my just the stuff I do here, but also in whatever book project this will come in the future to bring some of that old personality from 15 or 20 years ago that you guys don't see anymore. Bring that into the material, because as the material gets more challenging, as we deal with more and more in our day-to-day environment and our understanding of this realm, we better start bringing in laughter and humor into our world, or it's going to get even worse. It's like I remember there was a show I did. I don't remember the year, of course, but it was a giant fundraiser for something. And a guy came up after the show, and he just said, "I wanted to say thanks for the show." "Oh, yeah, great, thanks, Glenn." And he said, "No, I've had some really bad things in my life, and I don't remember what happened. If someone in his life, someone close to him, just died, or something like that had happened to him." And he said, "And I've been miserable for months. Nothing's gone well. I haven't smiled, and I didn't want to come out tonight, but a friend of mine forced me to come." And he said, "I've laughed pretty much the first time in months tonight, and I just wanted to say thanks. This really helps." And it's things like that that I would get sometimes after shows that were that really reminded me that the comedian is actually doing something quite valuable. I mean, some comedians are trying to present the world to us in a humorous way. Some of us are trying to present the strangeness of reality in a certain way. Some, of course, are just being idiots. But some are actually trying to do something. But if the material is well written, if it's presented well for a wide majority of people, and you can actually get them to laugh, that's a powerful break moment in the difficulty of the world. So I'm just saying that because it's something that I want to start bringing back more into not only my own world again, but the presentations that go on here. The channel Awaken with JP, he's done a great job for years on so many levels of bringing outstanding humor and satire into very difficult subjects. And I have actually a lot of respect for what JP has been doing and how good his presentations are, how well written and presented they are. Outstanding stuff. And there's a few others like that who are doing some really good presentations of this material of our reality. So I'm just presenting that because it's when you see something like the pods, the future pods, it's easy to get a bit down after seeing that. Like, holy crap, we're here. We're in Brave New World. And if you have Brave New World at home and you haven't read it for a while, you should read it again. You should read it again and look just how close we are. So many elements of that presentation, of that book, we are really, really close to almost all of them. And now with chapter 1, which tended to be I found the most kind of dull, slow-moving chapter, it was all about the baby factory. But it's now, given what we just see here, I mean, it's the Matrix too, right? It's like that's why that's the Matrix of eventually the babies don't come out of the pods at all. We just make the pods bigger, and the baby just grows and lives, and is the powers just generated from there, and we have the baby plugged into the artificial simulation right from there. That's also where this is going. And if along the way, if you don't find some places to have a little bit of humor, to take a step back and laugh, it's going to be even more difficult going forward. Again, that's my criticism of Westworld. My criticism, I like Westworld. My criticism of Westworld is there's no humor in it. And it's why I've had a hard time actually watching beyond season one, because it's constant insanity in your face. Even though there's useful information there, it's just, you need breaks. You mentally need to take breaks on different levels to just, and that's even included in a show or a book or anything else that's presenting hard material. If you don't, there isn't little breaks in there for you, for your mind, you're just going to start spinning. So it's very, very important. That's why Lost, I thought, was such a good show. Even though Westworld and Lost are showing equal amounts of information, Lost had, like I mentioned before, had Hurley, had Sawyer, had all sorts of comedic things built right into the show, right into the format of the show. So you would have not just pieces of episodes. Sometimes you had entire episodes that were more like just breaks. There was still information there, but you got a chance to just take a breath and kind of chuckle a little, and then you could go back into the drama of the series. And I wished Westworld had done that. I think Westworld would have been a much better program. I've seen something similar in the little bits I've seen of this 1899 show. Again, something kind of similar. I'm not seeing a lot of comedy. I'm not seeing a lot of humor put into the show. And to me now, when you are putting information of this level, beyond just someone talking for 30 or 40 or 50 minutes in an interview, if you're actually building something, or you're building a movie, you're building a story, if you don't have some humor in it, Donnie Darko had some humor in it. There's a couple of places in Donnie Darko that are pretty funny. And that's kind of important. If you don't have the humor we need to take that again into our life. I'm going to shut up now. But we need to take this into our life, because it's a critical part of being a healthy human. The ability to find things that are funny, to find things that are laughter, to find things that create a break for us. So, yeah, if you'd like to do some book reviews on Amazon, that would be certainly appreciated and helpful to others who might come and be interested in the book. There's other interviews below. There's not really any comedy in the interviews, but there are interviews below on the subject if you're interested. And the 23rd, Friday the 23rd, will be the live Q&A, the festivus / solstice / Christmas discussion. That's going to be, I think, 9 p.m. my time, but once it goes up, you'll know the time. I'll do that like today or tomorrow. So thanks for dropping in. Thanks for keeping yourself going forward in this material. If you're coming to keep watching my videos, it means you're trying to understand this reality, and you're trying to understand your place in it, and you're trying to understand the insanity that's been around us ever since we were born. And that's a very special thing. That's a very special tool. Not many out there are really that interested in doing it. So no matter how far you are on the workaround, no matter how far you are in understanding anything, recognize that while there are many who are interested, not that many. And you can kind of also take a moment, give yourself a pat on the back. Hey, I'm going into some difficult places a lot of others aren't going into. Okay, that's your little break, your little pat on the back. Then you can go back to work. See you in a week, guys, at the live Q&A. Cheers.